Hello, my name is Kimberley, and I'm a mum, learning designer and innovator, and a teacher with a passion for holistic inclusive education. Today, I share our vision for a new blueprint for secondary school education, a learning laboratory for a thriving life, with no financial barriers to entry. We are building a thriving community where members feel heard, seen, and valued holistically, to thrive together and support a new class of learners whose education matches the demands of the changing modern world. And we'd like to invite you to join us. In a world that's rapidly transforming, education must do more than just keep up. It needs to prepare students to thrive. We're pioneering a new era of learning that cultivates a deep understanding of human potential, readying students for the future with a curriculum and pedagogy that goes beyond conventional teaching and learning. Our impact networks empower entrepreneurship, ecological stewardship, inclusion, and the intelligent use of AI. In a world that is so full of uncertainties, global tragedies, and an environmental crisis, it has made me take an urgent look at how I can support my own 3 children to be active, compassionate citizens who can understand and address the issues that they will face in their lives. Naturally, this led me directly to their education. In my career, what has stood out for me the most is how extraordinary children are, how given a chance they will exceed our expectations on every level of human capacity. I have seen how outstanding schools can brighten whole families' lives by supporting, encouraging, and enriching their opportunities. And I have seen how other young learners can sink inside themselves when they do not receive such support in a system that doesn't always prioritise it. I have seen how this impacts not just themselves, but their families as well. Sadly, our secondary school age learners face significant challenges, despite the outstanding efforts of some teachers and leaders in schools. The frustrating fact is that the English education system hasn't changed or adapted significantly in half a century or more. The School of the Future report by WEF in 2020 worryingly states, as globalization and rapid advancements in technology continue to transform civic space and the world of work, education systems have grown increasingly disconnected from the realities and needs of global economies and societies. An OECD report in 2024 further published that curricula which is heavily focused on knowledge acquisition, which our GCSE curriculum is, neglects the development of critical life and workplace skills such as digital literacy, problem solving, empathy, sustainability, and communication, which are essential for thriving in today's society. In addition to the importance of developing executive functioning skills such as goal setting, organisation, time management, and self regulation, these are the key skills that we need to manage ourselves on a daily basis, and these are rarely actively being taught in our education system. Far from thriving, our young learners find themselves at the centre of a mental health crisis. Our young learners are no longer reliant upon just school to inform and shape their worldviews. Media and social media, for good or ill, is part of their everyday lives. They see that the exam-focused education is not giving them the skills they need to succeed in life, pushing the next generation to breaking point. In the Good Childhood Report from 2024, school was rated as the highest factor negatively impacting 10 to 17-year-olds' well-being. Comparatively speaking, in a study across 27 European countries, our young learners in the UK scored the lowest life satisfaction score, which equates to 25% of 15-year-olds reporting low life satisfaction, largely down to their schooling experience. Both UCL and the DfE published data in 2023 showing that the intense academic pressure from a rigid GCSE-focused curriculum has led to a significant mental health crisis among both students and teachers. Perhaps not surprisingly, a group called STEM4, who support teenage mental health, reported that this has led to absenteeism from school for 28% of 12 to 18-year-olds due to extreme anxiety or distress. These problems now extend beyond just families with children. It affects every single one of us. A mentally and physically unwell community places more strain on the national health, let alone their consequent inability to work. Well-being at work has been identified by scholars as one of the most important dimensions of an individual's overall well-being, but also as a contributing factor to the economic growth of a country through its workforce. The cost of doing nothing doesn't end with school or even the students. Community suffers, the workforce suffers, and the economy suffers. This is not sustainable for the greater good of society, nor for our planet, already straining under climate change. It is time for us all to wake up. We as a community can take steps to turn the tides. So, with all this data at our fingertips, why are we still complicit in offering this potentially damaging secondary school system? Nationally, teachers and leaders are crying out for internal change. The uncomfortable truth of the matter is that 1, it is terrifying to accept that the secondary school system may actually be a damaging environment for many of our young learners, despite the outstanding teachers and learners trying to firefight this potential damage from within. And number 2, it is a known fact that children aren't emerging from schools with anything like the knowledge or skills they require to thrive in the modern world or to address the global challenges we are facing. At this critical point, I do want to reassure you that the solution can be more straightforward and far less bleak than we might imagine. Imagine if the secondary school system fostered unconditional positive regard for young learners so that they feel safe, seen, heard, trusted, and respected, and were confident leading the way out of these complex global challenges that we are facing today. Imagine if they focused on developing 21st century executive functioning skills so that young learners emerged from school with a set of qualifications and were able to manage themselves and their well-being. And finally, imagine if the strategies to introduce all of this was open sourced. It is on these foundations that we are creating a new model of secondary school provision based on 4 pillars of education, empowering those hardworking teachers and leaders to make a difference from within. Our solution is to provide a nurturing, inclusive environment where students and teachers thrive. With research-aligned curriculum and pedagogy, multimodal formative assessments, this model fosters a deep understanding of oneself and the needs of a complex global society. It is the details of that provision that I turn to now. Pillar 1. We begin by nurturing a thriving community. The school itself will respond directly to the needs of the community, our key stakeholders being the families themselves and their networks too. We recognise that it takes a village to raise a child, and especially as our children grow into teenagers, they will be spending more time independently from parents within their local community. By strengthening these links, not only are our children better cared for, but they themselves learn to care about the issues in their community. Pillar 2 is an enriching transdisciplinary curriculum. There will be a knowledge-based curriculum, which at its core will contain 5 GCSEs, which all students will be encouraged to take. This will open the doors currently necessary to the next phase of education. This will be studied both in school and online with experts in their field. There will be options for students to add on additional qualifications, which will enable them to follow a more personalised route in their learning. Alongside this, there will be an inquiry-led curriculum. This adds the experiential, transferable, and meaningful learning experiences, and will directly link to the GCSE content. It will also develop those essential executive functioning and 21st century skills we talked about earlier. We will also be teaching a programme called Theory of Knowledge, which fosters a deep understanding of the nature of knowledge itself. This is particularly relevant living in the age of digital literacy and fake news, and it also supports an inquiry way of learning. For well-being and connection to nature, there will be weekly forest school-style sessions nurturing environmental awareness too. Our links within the community enable meaningful work placements and volunteering opportunities throughout every academic year. Not only does this provide them with valuable real-life insights and transferable skills, but deepens their connection with the community and social responsibility. This will also be where they can play in local team sports through carefully nurtured relationships with local clubs. Pillar 3 is multimodal formative assessment and learning portfolio. While standardised testing will be apparent in the GCSE subjects we offer, how we empower students to see and go beyond this is really important. The group Rethinking Assessment is well underway in developing online portfolios to eventually replace the GCSE programme. I've enjoyed piloting some of these portfolios, and this will be used in addition to the GCSE assessment route. This also means we will be aligned with any national changes in the ways we assess students in the near future. Through rigorous evaluation, combining insights from external examiners, teacher expertise, and student self-reflection, we create an empowering pathway for students to achieve. This makes the assessment process formative, giving them opportunities to learn and grow from the assessment and not just be judged by it. Pillar 4, research-aligned inquiry pedagogy. All this means is that the teacher understands how to support students in asking meaningful questions and then scaffold the journey to explore those questions further, all the while linking to the curriculum. The outcomes of this type of pedagogy are well researched. Those teachers who teach in this way report greater work satisfaction and increased emotional engagement in the students they teach. Research has shown that fostering a deep emotional connection to the learning process activates regions of the brain involved in cognition, memory, and meaning making, making this a supercharged teaching and learning approach. So, zooming out, we have developed a blueprint for a thriving education. By going back to basics and reminding ourselves what we are educating our young learners for, we can climb out of the dangerous status quo we find ourselves in. The world has changed since the secondary education system was designed. It's time we educate for the world we are living in now, starting with where the basic needs are being met, such as our learners' well-being, then growing the essential and highly transferable executive functioning and 21st century skills so that we are meeting the needs of individuals and the complex world we live in. If you want to be part of the solution, then join our community. We will be offering advice, resources, and structures on everything we have been creating, and this will be as part of an open source access. In the background, we are also creating a physical secondary school in Kingston upon Thames, which will be a working model of the 4 pillars we have shared. In this way, we extend beyond the theoretical. This will be our learning laboratory for a thriving life. You can continue to create a more inclusive, empowering future for us all by signing up to our newsletter or contacting us directly through our website. So sign up now and look out for updates on LinkedIn and social media. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to welcoming you into the community so that together we can thrive now.